We're going to be looking at 6 million square feet that I've worked on with this incredible team in the last 8 years. And I've got about 45 minutes, so hang on, it's going to be fast. Wynn Las Vegas, of course, was the beginning of Wynn Resorts. And the first time I was asked specifically to do something very different in my career with Steve and Elaine Wynn. And that was to invent something that had never been seen before. Bellagio references the south of France and the north of Italy. The Mirage references, of course, the tropics. And Treasure Island, obviously, was a voyage on a pirate battle for 3 years. And my other creations have also been something that Steve and or Elaine have talked about that has inspired them and that we have used to inform our work. Wynn Las Vegas, Wynn Macau, and Encore have been a voyage into complete and total invention. All of my work is historically based. I'm an art historian by training. I never studied interior design. I studied a lot of other stuff that goes into it, painting and drawing. And I was a ceramics major, a metalsmithing major, a weaving major, a sculpture major, and a goldsmithing major. So all of those things we use in our industry. But what I was asked to create was a place of luxury, a place that was entirely, and luxury for me is a combination of original and unique expression. Something is only luxurious if you've never seen it before, if you've never experienced it before, if it's not a copy. Something of quality. So it's not only quality in the craftsmanship and in the materials, but it's also quality in the essence of the thought that it's about. And it is something also, and this is most important to what we do at Wynn Design and Development, it creates an emotional experience. When we go to work to design something for all of you, we don't say, let's make a beautiful room. We say, let's create an extraordinary emotional experience. So Wynn Las Vegas is that. To do that, to be unique, you have to invent a vocabulary, and you have to invent the alphabet to form that vocabulary. And we start at the very street level. We design the inside and the outside. We are the aesthetic conscience of the entire company, which is a really good feeling most days, and a really bad feeling other days. So we start at the porte cochere, and at Wynn we decided to establish a couple of motifs that we would repeat throughout the property, a certain kind of color palette and a certain palette of materials, and use them everywhere so that we created a cohesion, yet variate them in scale, in expression, in location as many times as we could. So what you're going to find on the floor, on the inside, is on the ceiling at the porte cochere, this beautiful motif of painting by my friends Evans and Brown in San Francisco. I'm often asked how I decide how big to make things. When I'm making chandeliers for porte cocheres, I find out how big a chandelier will fit on a flatbed truck. That same motif you saw on the ceiling is now on the floor of the conservatory. It's in a completely different material. It's in mosaic, and it glitters, and it shimmers, and it does all the wonderful things. Sometimes the wonder of design happens because of necessity. This beautiful space, which was one of again, one of the things we wanted to do was bring natural light as one of the vocabulary elements. Natural gardens, everything you see in Wynn Las Vegas, and indeed everything you saw in Bellagio, in Encore and in Wynn Macau, is alive. There's no fake anything, there's no silk plants, with the exception of these flower balls hanging in the trees. So we did the sunlit atrium, and as our guests were going through the atrium and looking around them, they were dragging their luggage over the planting, so we got to create these beautiful little corner guards. I'm not going to talk about much of the product that I've got kind of tangled into this. It's all inspired by what you see. This is a carpet for the Natural Carpet Company that I learned to do from the mosaics and also from a walk through the public gardens in Venice. One of the things I do is I always carry a drawing book with me. I draw any idea I have. I draw the memory of every idea I have. I have hundreds of drawing books, and they form the basis for everything I do. So one of the things I draw a lot is parasols. I'm enchanted by parasols. I love their shape. I love the way sun comes through them. And this parasol court at the heart of Wynn Las Vegas is not only an exercise in getting to use the fantasy that I do in my drawings, but a real lesson in commitment to an idea. I had this idea. I wanted to do this ballet of these giant parasols that were also light fixtures. They would move. They would change. You'd be having a conversation. You'd look up at them. You'd look back at the person you're talking to. You'd look back for the conversation. They'd be different. Am I in a dream? Was that the way it was before? They move very slowly. For 3.5 years, I visited a factory 45 minutes away from my studio at least once a week. And Steve spent $2.5 million allowing me to do this. So what I learned from that was inspiration's great, but you have to be able to stick to that inspiration in order to get it done. It's difficult to do them. This is one of the classic elements. One of the classic elements in design, of course, is a dome. We hate domes. We love the way they look, hate the way they sound. So I've never been able to use domes in our design because of the acoustical anomaly of being able to hear the conversation on the other side of the dome better than the one you're hearing with the person you're having. So Steve didn't allow domes. So I needed these circular elements as hinges along the curved esplanade of shops at Wynn. So this time we hung silk fabric inspired by parachutes backlit by the sun from the ceiling and put grape clusters under them. No acoustical anomaly. This is the casino at Wynn, but this is about process. This isn't the casino at Wynn. This is a $2.5, nearly $3 million model that we built in a Butler Building warehouse on the Desert Inn golf course shortly after we moved in. I think we worked on this for nearly 3 years. We changed everything in it several times. Jacques Garcia, one of the guys I hired to do a cameo appearance, contributed the carpet design, which became the signature motif. And then we looked at female forms as one of the great vocabulary elements. You can see the parasol repeated in the chandelier, and our playing with scale in that huge molding. So all of those light fixtures over the tables, that was a first that we got to do too. All those chandeliers that give kind of a presence to the table like a dining table, they don't occur in any other Las Vegas casinos because they get in the way of the eye of the sky or the security element. Steve let us spend, and because we had this full-scale laboratory, we were able to do it, 2 years developing a chandelier that has its own security camera in it and is able to not obscure but enhance the security environment over those tables. We have good ideas and we have bad ideas. This was a bad idea made into a good idea. One of the cameo appearances, Wynn was built, I'll just give you some numbers. It's 5.2 million square feet total with 3.2 million square feet in the public. Costs $2.8 billion. It's on 56 acres. It has 200,000 square feet of meeting space, 15 restaurants, 75,000 square feet of retail, 28 stores. The mountain you saw at the beginning is 140 feet high. It costs 110 million. We can park a Rolls on the top. It took 5 years to design and build, and it is the only 5-star gaming resort on planet Earth. It employs 8,000 people, and there are 9 appearances by designers other than myself in the building, other than the WDD team in the building. 2,000 rooms and 500 suites. In those 15 restaurants, one of them was Corsa, and we gave a brief to a really competent designer, and he made a gorgeous presentation. We all loved it. We built the room. It had all the charm of my prep school dining hall, and it just did not work. We asked for something for fast food. We installed a really great chef in the room. So we were asked to redo this room. We were given about 30 days to do the concept and presentation, and I think 90 days to do the complete order and remodel of this room. That's fast in our industry. So we kind of turned it on its head. We opened up walls. Given 90 days, most people wouldn't do this, but we tore down walls, we lowered windows, we completely reconfigured the chandelier environment, designed these huge fixtures with peeled log poles, and hung we used a sisal from Natural Carpet Company for the wall covering and for the awnings. We love awnings, we just don't want them to look like awnings.